You've got mail.
Good, you know, and that's like really good. I was like, so I think everything looks good. Yeah, let's do a check. Alright, yes sir. Yes sir. Alright. Welcome guys. I'm glad to actually start kicking this off. So this is gonna be a new project that I'm actually gonna be taking part of, and we have Caesar here who's gonna be helping me out. And he's the first artist, man. You gotta give you a round of applause, man.
Man, I gotta thank you, man. This is an exciting thing to be a part of.
Yes, sir. And so with this project, or what this is, it's going to be e-magazine that features artists from galleries, from NFT artists, from painters, from musicians, from architects, anything that really pushes their creative knowledge or creative aesthetic, and kind of just give them a platform to just like talk about what they want to do in the future, what they have going on right now, what they have done in the past, and just kind of like get them in the whole scope, and kind of get them in a whole scope where they're able to express themselves and provide a platform that they can express themselves. So we're gonna give another round of applause for this man Caesar here.
You know, actually, as you were talking about that, it reminded me that I think you're actually one of the very first people to be doing this kind of stuff, to be interviewing like the NFT artists in real life. I've looked around a few blogs and on social platforms like Twitter to see what everyone else was doing about it, and I've seen there's one that actually inspired me, and it reminds me of what we're doing right now, where he shows different pieces of art and talks about the artists themselves very briefly. But I think that what you're doing right now is going to take that up to the next level.
Yes, sir. So now it's going to be exciting. How I see, and we're going to introduce yourself so you can introduce yourself to the camera and to themselves. But just to kind of give you guys the overview of where I want this to go, is I really want this to be a lot of people say this word a lot, but like the community. But I want the community to find their natural habitat to collaborate within, like, instead of digitally in real life. Because one thing for sure, digital is powerful, don't get me wrong, digital is powerful, but that human to human connection is really what allows humans as social beings to connect more, and with that connection that just builds on a relationship that digital can't really grasp quite yet. It's gonna get there, I believe, but not quite yet. And so, really, like, that's where I want to go with this project. And now I'm gonna introduce you to the guys or girls that actually, guys and girls, not guys or everybody, even the UFOs out there. Caught the e-magazine for me. So, tell us about yourself, like your name, what do you kind of do, like, as a profession, and how we even kind of to like meet each other.
My name is Caesar Lazarus, so pleased to meet every single one of you who are looking beyond this on the screens or on the TV or even in the theater. Who knows? Or even in the metaverse, for as far as we know. Alright, and so real quick, I am a digital artist from Miami, and I was born in New York, raised in Philadelphia, and I came here to Miami in about around 2010. And I've been living here ever since, and I've just been enjoying the ride. I've always been an artist. In fact, it's like ever since I could hold a pencil. I remember there was this one time where I was scribbling over like a textbook, like for my parents' university. They weren't happy with that, but they just let me go my way anyways.
In the university textbook?
Yeah, like a law book, I think it was. I don't remember. I do not remember that thing at all. But what that actually reminds me of one thing. My first ever drawing was like this stick figure family of everybody that I knew in like a purple crayon. I have no idea where it is now, but hey, that's where it all started.
Yes, sir.
And ever since like for the past 20 years, I've just been drawing as a hobby. Like just drawing all these little comic book characters, sometimes even imagining whole franchises before the MCU was even a thing. So I swear to God, I deserve the credit for all of that.
Yeah, I'm over here thinking of MCU.
I swear to God.
It's like the what is MCU? Is it like the
Marvel Cinematic Universe? Yeah. Before Iron Man, I swear.
Yeah.
And before the Avengers. Yes.
No, that's valid. That's valid.
Right. So yeah, I've been doing that for like 20 years until like late 2019 was when I started I got myself a Wacom tablet and a pen, and I had my laptop there, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take it to another level.
Yes, sir.
And I'm gonna take this seriously now. So I started my digital art journey around late 2019, and I was just picking things up from there, using some people that me and my family managed to connect with until the pandemic hit in March. Was March? Yeah, it was March. Yeah, it was March. And that was when everything changed. But in hindsight, when I'm thinking about it now, the pandemic sort of helped me.
Yeah.
And it sort of helped us as a family. And not only were we closer together, we were also we also managed to up our games, up our skill levels, and take what we're passionate about very seriously. My mother is an entertainment attorney who usually talks to various clients in the entertainment industry, including musicians.
Yes, sir.
And my dad is passionate in videography and filming and sometimes photography. And his partner is very passionate in photography. You should see her work, I swear. It's like incredible at this point. Like it should be up in museums at this point. Like it should be like
fine art photography type of deal.
That fine art photography. She specializes in studio photography, like the fashion magazines, the makeup, all that stuff. It is real.
And she works with your dad to.
They work alongside each other in a family-run business called Media Poets. They're just a 2-person team for now, and I come in to help them out whenever we can, whenever they're gigs.
I'm gonna have to stop you real quick, cause like before you even drop the real sauce on the Media Poets, cause you gotta give another round of applause. They just won a Grammy for a little.
We'll get there.
But I had to stop him because I'm thinking like a 2-man team able to produce, cause I have a little foresight of a Grammy.
Yeah,
and it's just like, dang.
It's an Emmy.
It's an Emmy.
An Emmy.
Yeah, I'm sorry. An Emmy. And it's just like, wow, like, you really, and this is the power of just teamwork and collaboration. Like, just two minds that kind of see the vision or focus that they're trying to go down and able to just kind of like work together to achieve that. That's powerful, but I'm gonna let you keep going.
It is seriously powerful. We'll get to there, actually. So throughout 2020, we were able to up our skills and start connecting with more musicians, mainly through the Media Poets team. And we were able to shoot some live gigs with some artists that we know, some interviews and artist videos. We were doing that until March 2021. That was when the NFT community started exploding. And that was when I first heard about NFTs, actually. For everyone knowing out there, NFTs have been around for a little while, since like 2014. I heard it was like the first ever NFT. And then there was like a little brief moment in 2017 where there was this whole craze with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and all the different startups.
You said this date was like December? Or like, it was in August that you were saying when you heard about NFT?
March.
Okay.
That, I'm gonna get into that right now. So I first heard about NFTs in March with the Beeple selling of $69 million.
Yeah.
That was when it caught all the mainstream attention. And that's when I started looking at what this is about. And I even experimented with a little bit of money that I had there, with a couple NFTs there. I think it was on Rarible.
Yeah.
I don't think they're up there anymore. I haven't really took a look at it since. But really, I also took a step back because since it was so new and it was so chaotic from my point of view, that I needed to take the time to keep building my own skills.
Yeah.
And then that was until late August when a close family member of mine passed away.
Rest in paradise, though.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to really talk about it, to be honest.
No, it's a cute.
She's been a major part of my life.
It does blow.
What's strange about that moment was that at the same time, Ye's Donda came out.
Yeah.
Around the same exact time, and that was a tribute to his mother.
Yeah.
She may be my grandmother, but she's my mom's mom.
Yeah.
You know? So it sort of felt like that strange ethereal kind of connection. I didn't really understand it at first, but then a day or two later after that, something just happened in me. It just, this spark came up, something I haven't felt in a very long time.
Yeah.
And then I just dove right into the NFT community like nobody's business.
Yes.
I managed to get in on a very exclusive platform called Foundation within the first week.
Yes, sir.
For instance, jumping in, and I've only had like 2 followers on Twitter, like just at the beginning in late August, and now in January 2022, I'm at 950.
Yes, sir.
And as I kept working on making like art to be minted on Foundation, I did manage to get 1 sold.
Yes, sir. Wait, hold on, you gotta get on the phone real quick.
I got one sold.
That is great.
I got 1 sold,
right,
yes.
Congratulations.
For about $700 worth of Ether.
Yes, sir.
And that was only a month into me jumping in. And right now, I've just been refining my skills, understanding the community more, and yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I've just been chilling, having a good time, learning about all the different projects out there, and especially connecting with the artists, because if there's one thing that I will forever go by, it's always the artists.
Yeah.
I will always forever support and advocate for art. That's my image.
Yeah. We'll go backtrack a little bit, because rest in paradise to your grandmother. We just want to send our blessings and condolences to her, because like she might have been the spark in the accelerator to getting you to now where you are and finding your passion and purpose. So that's.
I always ask my family every time, like whenever there's like this massive accomplishment. I always ask them, would she be proud of this? Would she be happy that I came this far? And then they always answer this. They always answer me this. She's always been proud of you. She's always been there for you, no matter what. And she's sitting up there next to God, like next to Jesus, sitting there like, that's my grandson.
Yeah.
That is my grandson there.
100%.
She is. And that's just, that just makes me happy.
Yeah. So I want to kind of see where you have been in the past. Like, do you kind of like have been like the one to always be the one that kind of go to art shows, or like, I know you say you used to doodle and things like that, but kind of more recently in the past, like, what are you like most proud of that you kind of were able to accomplish like in the past?
In the past, there was one moment last February when me and the team at Media Poets were working on a fashion ad campaign for a byart t-shirt company in 8th Street, 𝗖𝗲𝘀𝗿.
Okay.
And we were working alongside another photographer there. She was running her own business, and she managed to know some guy over in New York City who runs the billboards there in Times Square.
Yeah.
And so this whole ad campaign was actually for one of the biggest billboards in Times Square, the one above the McDonald's.
Yeah.
And I had the amazing opportunity to draw the model who was wearing the 𝗖𝗲𝘀 behind this very fancy light green car, to draw him to be shown at Times Square. And then, before you know it, and like later in the month, there we go. It's up on Times Square. My art was on Times
Yeah,
Square.
you gotta send me a photo so I can let these guys know what that looked like. Cause
I have footage of it.
Yeah, I definitely want you to send that to me.
Yeah. Another big accomplishment I'd like to point out was there was this one time in October 2020. There was this contest going around for Adobe. It was to pay tribute to Keith Haring. Keith Haring is this popular 80s artist who does the very cool, like, very solid kind of pop art stuff.
Yeah, with a lot of like lines that kind of show movement, kind of like that.
And all this cool stick figures. It was a pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, I like it.
So the art contest in particular was supposed to be about what kind of social movement is relevant today. We got to use Keith Haring's brushes. They were digitized for Photoshop and other services like Adobe Illustrator.
Yeah.
I used Photoshop to create a picture that I had. I took like out of fun, and that picture was a commentary about how social media affects us.
Okay.
I called it Social Media and the Mind. And I turned that face I made in the picture into a painting. And I used various stick figures that were inspired by Keith Haring. And I put a text called Social Media and the Mind to the left. And I submitted it through IG because that's how the contest was structured. And then the next thing I knew, like a couple weeks later, I got a DM on IG saying that I won. I was one of 5 people in the world who won.
Yo.
I got what I got was $5,000.
Yeah.
And a spot in Adobe Max 2020. I got my art showcased around the world with millions of people watching.
Yeah.
And I was like...
And Adobe Max is like that conference that they have?
Yeah, where they showcase new products. It's sort of like the Apple's event where you show iOS and everything. Yeah, that's Adobe's version where they show new features for Photoshop and
How was that whole experience?
It was crazy. I even have footage of that too on my social media. Yeah.
I want to see a sentence so that they can get a kind of grasp of what he was able to accomplish in the past. And so right now, like, what are you focused on like in the present? Like, what's the kind of like because I know we want to talk about how you are always in the now, and I want to dive into that also. But right now, like, what's the present projects that you kind of are excited about?
Right now I'm just thinking of creating more art because that's the end goal for me, to create stories. Because at the end of the day, I love telling stories, and I love reading about stories of different people who come up and different stories from the comics or the books I read.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I'm working on right now. I'm also thinking of exploring video a little bit. So here and there I could do like maybe a YouTube series or some videos on TikTok or even on IG Reels of some speed paints that I do, because I record the painting process on like some software, and then I can turn that into speed paints, which is like a very fast version of the drawing in real time, and put some music over it and effects just to make it look dope, you know?
Yeah, and I would say I used to try to study like there's people who do the speed paints. Yeah. And are you trying to use it for a tutorial or just to showcase what you can do?
It's a show that I can do, really.
Okay.
But I can also do that. It's not hard to
I would say
to tell some tips, like to show some things that I do to make the art the way it is. Yeah. Like to give it that old painting look, or to have like a certain awareness about like a certain color scheme.
Yeah, because I was saying that to say that I really found it difficult for me to kind of like grasp like there's some people that do like, because they do also in Photoshop, so you could like, that's why I was trying to learn Photoshop. And so when I would try to study a speed ramp, because the speed ramp will be something so amazing, like I'm talking about like this is like crazy. So you're just like, all right, how did they even create it? And you're just looking at all the layers that they're doing. They're doing like 30 layers. They got like 30 layers. They got this cooked to this. So these effects only touch these layers.
You'd actually be surprised about how well organized I am with my layers.
Yeah.
Just speaking about that, I manage all of them in different groups, so that way it's not so insanely mad cluttered, you know.
What? And so like the ones that I would watch, they're so mad cluttered, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that I would just really be like, okay, like at this point, I'm just really had to just see what they create, because like once I see what they create, I can kind of like just have that image put into my creative images and then recreate with my aesthetic. So like that's what I was kind of like leveraging that for. But I was just like damn, like slow the fuck down. Like, I can't really analyze.
But really, I don't even include that part of the process. I don't even include like you get to see what kind of layers I'm working on. I want to have that kind of theatrical experience.
Oh, okay.
With my work. That's why I actually bought myself a second screen, a second monitor, where I can put my art there, and then I painted there where the software is recording on that monitor. So that way it can be clean.
Yeah.
And then when I edit it on Premiere, there we go, and bada bing, bada boom, and done.
Yeah, okay, I can see that. I like that. I think that's definitely a different route than how these YouTubers or like these speed artists have been putting their content on social media platforms. And so this is probably like, what's it called? Because I would say, one, like we're going into an age where like it's really people haven't grasped. The one thing I'm gonna say before, because y'all gotta know how I stand for it. The internet never loses. Progression, innovation never loses. They like if you try to like slow down innovation, you're just gonna get left behind. And at that point, like how I want to say is like, what are you like more excited about in the future? Like, where do you kind of see like this space or your work? How do you see that innovating? How do you see like your presence kind of innovating the space of NFTs? And then we're gonna dive in more about like your art and like what does that represent?
That's a good question you're asking there, because I always, not only do I think about the present time, like what I'm doing right now, I like to think of like it's good to have accolades and accomplishments in the past, but if you're not showing what you can do in the present, what are you doing here? But about the future, I also like to think at least 5 years ahead in the future. So what was the question again?
Well, where do you see the innovation of your work, the space of NFTs, like even like how the communities that are being like so focused on when the NFT comes, like it's not really like, I don't know if people don't even understand, it's not really the artwork that's like holding these people into paying these much. It's really the communities that the artwork is able to allow you to become a part of. And so like where do you, I was saying this to repeat the question, so where do you see yourself, one, innovating, and then your work innovating, and then your influence innovating?
Where do I see that innovating? I would say that I would have a lot stronger attitude than I do right now. So I can grow as an artist. In order to grow as an artist, you need to understand people. And I remember there's this one documentary I watched recently. It was about 𝗖𝗲𝘀𝗿𝘂𝘀, and what I learned there was like priceless.
He's like a trumpet player?
No, he's not a trumpet player. He was a guy who promoted artists.
Okay.
In history. He was able to promote Whitney Houston into stardom. But what he did was he doesn't just promote artists, he develops artists. And that's something I believe that is so lacking in the community right now. Because I've seen like online everywhere that there's a lot of people who are just trying to show their work, you know, like promote their stuff, bring their word out there, which isn't bad. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just that there's something missing in those things.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I've been trying to speak out lately. I've been trying to push authenticity forward, because that's the direction I believe where NFTs should go when it comes to the mentality of the community. Is to be very authentic and be very honest with yourself and to other people.
Yeah.
If you ain't understanding your own feelings, your own problems, how do you expect to understand 10,000 people in your Discord server? You know?
Yeah.
How do you expect what's gonna happen? It takes a certain mindset of a leader. It takes a mindset of a visionary to make that happen. You know.
And then how about with your work? Like what are you trying to? How are you growing within yourself to now produce this creative ability out in like the real world? Like how do you kind of like see the vision be kind of want to still stay in the realm of like, because I think how I see your art is like digital paintings. Like it's like not like it's not really like digital paintings like a paintbrush. Like no, there's actually brush strokes that you see in the work. Like
yes,
it's like that type of like work, and so you kind of want to like hold that aesthetic down and kind of like evolve that.
Yes, that's a goal I have at the moment, is to master that sort of painterly feeling of the artwork, where the work reminds you of a time in 2022 that was created like it was the renaissance of the NFT community. That's the goal I have in mind with developing my skills as an artist.
Yeah.
But also to add on, in the near future, I would want to strengthen my storytelling to make it even more open, even easier to understand, even more inviting, and even more provoking if you think about it. Because if art doesn't provoke your feelings, what is it? It's just a thing on the wall, you know, like what you see around here. I'm not saying like this is bad or nothing, but like I'm just seeing faces here. Like what am I don't know what I'm supposed to feel here.
Even on the camera can pick those up. Like
Yeah.
it's literally like little like faces that are just all different people.
Yeah, it's just like I guess it maybe to include community.
Yeah.
But other than that, just my interpretation. That's all I could see. So that's the goal I have as an artist developing his craft, to provoke your feelings in hopefully constructive way, not to just shit out everything.
And so I'm gonna give that you guys a more little story how me and Caesar have been able to. Caesar actually is the one who put me on to the Strip Society, and so I grabbed 4 NFTs from the Strip Society. I'm excited about because he was telling me how he was going to Art Basel like about a couple weeks ago, and about like a couple months ago, or 1 month ago, and when he was saying that, he's like, oh yeah, it's like a private like an invitation, like you can't really like not everybody can come in, and so that already enticed me. I'm like, oh yeah, they're onto something. I don't know what it is, but they're onto something.
They are onto something. I've talked to them before. They are really onto some really big projects. I do not know exactly what their schematics are or their blueprints are, but they are definitely onto something when it comes to like startups or the infrastructure of Miami-Dade. In fact, even the mayor, Francis Suarez, jumped in. He got his own shrimp, and as of now, he's a big supporter of cryptocurrency like Bitcoin.
Yeah, so that just makes
and there's even a token in Miami called Miami Coin, for crying out loud.
That just makes me happy because like I guess, and I appreciate you for that, because if it wasn't for you, I don't think I would have known it was Strip Society. So I had to give you a credit for sure, because if it does blow and you sell for like it sells for like 1 point. Wait. Before it goes, let's see. Oh wait. Let's take a break. Just reset this because I think this one died. Alright.
I think this was running. So yeah, you were talking about like the value of the shrimps, right?
Yeah.
They were going for like 1.5 Sol. Their Sol. They're running the Solana blockchain actually.
Yeah. So if they actually sell for like, it's gonna be I mean, if it sells for like.
I think they ran for 1 Sol during the initial phase of minting. I had to put in the money from my exchange on Coinbase and turn it into I think 1 Sol, and then that's when I could go to their website and then mint the NFT there. So yeah.
So when this does blow up, man, I'm gonna have to go like, yo, Caesar, come on, we about to go out, eat out at like a Brazilian steakhouse, get some Kobe steak. I don't know what.
In fact, they actually do discounts. If you have your shrimp out there, you can get some discounts at like a coffee place.
Yeah.
There's even you could even go into into some of those big music concerts? Like what was that big one in Miami?
That's like Rolling Loud.
Rolling Loud,
Yeah.
yes, that like one of those.
Yeah.
You get tickets to those, or even baseball games. Like you get to see the Marlins.
Yeah. So I'm holding on to one for sure, and I have 3 that I'm willing to be like trying to maneuver and see what's up. Because the one that I do have is really represents me. I feel like it already had like the perspectives hoodie, and I really love to look at shit at different perspectives. And it has like, I think they call it the off-white hoodie.
Yeah.
So it's like,
you should check out their mural in Wynwood. I was there actually while they were doing the reveal party and everything. It's pretty huge. It's like it tells a whole story and everything. I even talked to the muralist who did the painting.
Yeah.
So he told about how it all came to be, how he met the team from the shrimp community, and what the story was about.
Yeah,
it was
that's
like
fire. That's fire.
He believes that the shrimps are going to be part of pop culture.
Yeah.
Miami only invade pop culture.
And I was thinking, I don't mind if you guys take this Shrimp Society, because I was thinking how to celebrate and have a catalyst into the Miami community. And I was just thinking, like, one thing that Miami is very, like I said, the murals, Miami is very known for like the wall art, and so the graffiti art.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, it's like they could find an artist, they can take this idea, this is all free use, all right, just do it, because I'm part of the community.
There are actually.
So there's like created like graffitis that are like
there are
painted the walls.
Yeah, there was some like Atomico who's doing NFTs. There was one who
for the Shrimp Society?
No, not for the Shrimp Society. They're like individual
Yeah.
artists. And there was one that 𝗖𝗲𝘀 𝗟𝘇. He does NFTs too on Super Rare, I think.
Yeah.
But
see, this is what I want them to do. I want them to actually have like a tag of the shrimps and have somebody just tag Miami with the shrimps.
Oh my god.
Just so that just to see it. And once they see it, then they'll be able to really leverage the attention, and with that leveraging of the attention can develop the community faster. And I believe that will be like a great idea. But y'all have it, y'all can have it. It's all yours.
I mean, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see. If I start seeing the shrimp tags, y'all see it first. Y'all know I've had put it in the ether, and then somebody caught it, and so we're gonna see what's up. But yeah, I'm excited about that project, and I think what also NFTs that are you like that you purchased in
I remember
collection?
I do have one NFT that I bought that comes from a company called NFT Studios. They were selling what they called shoes. What that is that these are like digital sneakers similar to the ones that like I have right now. They go for like 0.1 ether during the initial minting phase, and what they aim to do is to become like a fashion NFT juggernaut in the shoes community. Like they're very passionate in the sneakerhead culture. Like they're very passionate. They have, if you see the pictures on their Discord, like there's a certain channel there where you can see the kind of shoes they have in real life. Their entire rooms are filled with like shoe boxes and really rare kind of sneakers.
Yeah, what sneaker did you ended up getting from the mint?
They have a variety of different traits. So I got
some off-white ones.
No. I wish, but no. I got 2 shoes actually.
Yeah.
They come in different traits and colors and characteristics, and they call themselves a 40-year project. That means for the next 40 years, they're going to keep developing this community into practical uses. Like for example, they're already making 3D assets of shoes to put in the metaverse. And it's supported by like the Bored Ape Yacht Club, which at this time is one of the biggest communities out there.
That's already a hype beast culture right there.
There's serious. And in fact, fun fact, the founder of that project was the first collector.
He was of the shoes?
No, of my art.
Oh,
he was the one who got my first NFT on Foundation.
Yo, congratulations, bro.
So now we good.
That's a great connect.
He's a cool guy.
Yeah.
He's a guy from Canada. He's a very techie guy. He's a father. And he's an all around. I like his spirit.
Yeah.
I always love to work with my collectors. I always want to connect with them.
I think I'm glad that you said that, because there's a relationship in the art market that I think a lot of artists are skipping over, which is like they wanna. Of course, there's people that are gonna like your art. They're gonna be able to support. They're gonna like show love on Instagram, but the collectors and having a relationship with the collectors where they can like maybe even like call you up, maybe even have that type of like dialogue with you where they can be like, oh, I'm kind of looking to create this for this room, and then you can kind of come in with the vision. Like if you look at old artists like Michelangelo, there are families that wanted him to perform an art piece for them,
or like Da Vinci, when the Medicis.
Yeah, when the Medicis were kind of like, bro, I want this type of artwork, and how that elevated his influence, his fame, and his just aesthetic for the whole world to know.
It was a win-win for everybody.
And in that win-win, like that's just one thing I feel like art. In that win-win, there's just so much benefit to that instead of a win-lose, which nobody wants to do. Like if everybody in the room can win, then that is just gonna be able to just it's gonna expand the amount of win. Because there's one thing that I have a mentor named Jared, who he says that the power, like this is now gonna shift into business lingo a little bit. When somebody doesn't want to give off,
I'll understand it.
When someone doesn't want to give off like equity in their company, like they are really hurting themselves in the sense of they're thinking the pie can only be this big. So we're like, oh, they can like say, okay, like they're making money, but if I have somebody that's an equity holder, I have to give them this slice of a little pie, and now I reduce how much I can like eat off of this pie. But really, you have to make the pie big enough to where like it's like so big.
You see?
Yeah,
that's
so
what we're
big.
talking about.
So
that's
big,
the spirit of the community.
Yeah,
that's the spirit right there.
Everybody eats. And
yes,
allowing everybody to eat is just so plentiful that you can get full, and there's still plenty more for everybody.
Hell yes.
Yeah. So like that's just the power of just opening up the perspective of an artist to like look at collectors and building a relationship, like how you said with your collector who actually bought your first NFT. And so yeah, that's powerful right there. I'm glad that you're even taking that like initiative. That's powerful.
And for all other collectors out there, let me tell you, I want to connect with you, okay? I want to be friends with you. I want to meet you in person, for crying out loud. I don't want to give you a handshake. I want to give you a hug. I want to give you a kiss on the cheek right there, just for the cherry on top. I just want to say thank you, and I want to say, hey, let's do something together, you know?
Sir,
that's for everybody.
Yeah, and that's when like artists just to peep this. Like there's like you gotta look at yourself like a business for real. Like as an artist, like you are creating a so much value in the space that in this creative value, emotional value, it's not material value, because that's just like it also could be material value.
It can be.
Yeah, so like now with that type of like that type of work that you're putting out and that value of the work, now you really could see where to position yourself and find like one thing that the alignment of the collectors. Like you don't want just like I don't know like oil juggernauts that you're like someone that is trying to reduce emission. You're getting oil juggernauts to kind of go into your project when you stand for like a free air or reduce emissions.
Right.
So like your values don't align.
Our wavelengths just don't match
at all. And those aren't the type of relationships you are needing to find. You have to find relationships where everything aligns from, not everything, because you can have like discrepancies of different people, but you want to be able to just genuinely feel like this is a good person. Like you don't want to be in the back of your head like.
That's actually something I want to add on to what you're saying there, because what I see in the community right now, I was actually talking about this a little earlier about the present and promotion and development. I see a lot of artists and project founders trying to appeal to these very popular figures in the NFT community who represent artists, let's say. which is great. I'll forever support that. It's just that really, I believe that we're really limiting ourselves in that when we focus on that kind of thing. It's a lot. It becomes a lot less about the relationships of other people, like of other people beyond them. Then it becomes less of that, and more of just trying to appeal to people who are getting DMs, hundreds of DMs, like a minute. I can imagine of those same pitches.
It's like the same copy and paste message that they just blast in everybody's DM with the Discord link. And this, that, and the third, like it's just like one thing that 100% agree is that you're one relationship away, one pitch away, one anything away from, one exposure away from literally changing the trajectory of anything that you want to do.
And that's exactly what I believe the community needs to understand. Whoever's sitting right next to you or whoever you're talking to right now may change your life. It may change the trajectory of what you think is possible in your career. That one person could next day be your collector or be your business partner, let's say. That's like the importance of everything.
So how do you think we can bring that type of, like, because they really, the NFTs, they really do be like community. But when you get into like these discourse, sometimes I feel like it's just like a few people that are really just like holding it together. Like, what could further that sense of like importance of that just one person that you might meet in the discourse? Like, how do you think that, or let me rephrase the question into saying like, in making that one person, how can we make that relevant in the discourse and like in the community of the NFTs?
Honestly, the truth is that sort of engagement on Discord is pretty normal as far as I know. Like, I believe what you're talking about are these huge Discords on where people are talking about a certain project that is incredibly popular. Like there's this one that I'm in called the V Friends. Where Gary V has these NFTs, and then he has a massive community that he built over the years. He already has an established fan base who support him to the very end. I think that's what you were talking about.
Like something like definitely like something like that massive scale.
The best advice I can give you is just be yourself and be authentic. Just understand that you're a human being who has a vision with how you want to go, where you want to go in life, right? And what you would need to understand is to understand that though there are other people who have that same vision, you know, they want to do something that they feel is important for themselves. And the best advice I can give you is that at least understand where they're coming from. That's the importance of making that relationship possible. Understand who they are and what they believed in. And you're already on common ground, you know. You're in the same Discord. First of all, you're in the same Discord. I'm assuming you believe in the same project. You believe in what it stands for, what the cause is, and. You already got a good foot. You already got a great icebreaker there.
There's just one, cause I feel like I just don't like it's just a personal thing for me. I just don't like the notification. Like, so I know the silent notifications, you can do that, right? So then the next thing is when you do finally open the app, it's just like you gotta there's a whole 1,000 messages that you ready to miss by.
Honestly, yes.
So I just feel like too much overwhelmed. So I will tell you what I did. There's this one project called 𝗖𝗲𝘀𝗿. I really like the artwork, and like what I can tell from the community, it's kind of like they are very much involved, right? And then this is the first Discord messaging group chat that I even actually joined. So I was already like just trying to let them know like all right, so as soon as I got in, I'm just like, all right, so when is this project minting? Like, I just wanted to know that. And they're just like, okay, this project minting, like in about a couple months, like late March. And so I'm like, all right, cool. All right, let me know when it mints, and I'm gonna come back into this Discord.
That does happen. I'm not gonna lie, that does happen.
I had to give it a beat. I just can't be like, I want to support, but I feel like my support and how I can bring more value is, of course, with the production. If it needed a production like type of video editing, okay, I can see how I can come in and really provide for that community. But then I was just like, I really want to take in my vision on how I'm going to attack this space is like how these major like art investors attack this space. Like as soon as you get an NFT, you're an art investor. I just want you guys to all know that. Like you have a collectible, but it's an investment in art. Like you become an instant art investor once you buy an NFT. It's just that people buy it for different reasons other than what it's like really. They buy it for, oh, since I see somebody else bought it, I want to buy it so I can like kind of, it's like what's it called? Keep it up with the Joneses. Like that type of mindset. Like really, once you purchase this NFT, you become an art collector, art investor. So I want to kind of hone my collection in a way where it's very much like once we have like these houses in the metaverse or whatever, like these little club, like whatever it turns out to be, I can kind of like have a showroom of all like the art that I had. Like, you know how like there's I'm talking about millionaires, like multi-millionaires, that when you go to their house, they will casually have a $5 million piece on their wall, and you won't even know. You think they get this from IKEA. You're thinking that they get this from like,
and it's just like there. It's just there, you know.
It's like a subtle.
And
flex.
then when you ask it, it's like, hey, this is a cool painting. Like, what is this? Oh, that's like a $10 million painting I got from like Sotheby's.
Yeah,
like,
what? That flex right there is just like, yeah, I need that. I like that flex. I like that subtleness. And so like that's kind of how I want to attack it. But going back to how Miami is becoming like a technology NFT kind of like having Bitcoin event like two years in a row. It's been like 3 years I've been down in Miami, right?
How long I've been down here now?
No, actually like the Bitcoin event, like.
Oh yeah, it's been since 2017.
Yeah, 2017. So it's just like
been a big deal.
Like, whoa, we're really in a location because we're both in Miami. We're really in a location where like the tokenomics and the cryptocurrencies are really kind of like formulating a hub in this area. Where do you think that, like, how do you kind of like perceive, what do you think that type of migration is gonna affect like like Miami in general as like a place, but also like the relevancy of art in Miami in NFT space and like that type of like perspective?
Okay, so when it comes to that, the first thing that has to be acknowledged is that cryptocurrency I believe is subject to be regulated because recently the United States government has taken note of cryptocurrency seriously since it's been skyrocketing lately in relevancy. So yeah, you have to expect that. So we need to confront this a little more maturely when it comes to talking about this stuff, you know. What I believe in the future of Miami, let's say, for cryptocurrency, I believe it can be a viable place to let's see here. It can be a viable place to exchange crypto. I've already seen like Bitcoin vending machines around in Wynwood, and I even read that Francis Suarez, he wanted to pay federal workers in Bitcoin. So those small steps right there, is going to paint. I believe it paints a bigger picture that cryptocurrency is here to stay. And when it comes to the arts in Miami, I believe there's going to be a lot of competition here when it comes to art in Miami, because there are already established art scenes in like New York or in Texas and everything. But I believe that we're already at a head start so far.
Yeah.
When it comes to NFT art, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been reading lately, as of 2022, that New York, let's say, is following with their own tokens, like New York coin.
Yeah.
I've been reading that up. And I think California may be doing the same.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that.
I know.
Everything's changing like so fast, and it can be hard to keep up.
Well, it's so like to kind of wrap up this interview, because I appreciate you even taking the time out of your day to just talk about something that is just like powerful, like so powerful as NFTs, but also what we love to do, which is create. And as creatives, like we just love to create. And so I'm glad that we can create this moment right now together.
Mm-hmm.
And so the last question I want to ask you, right? So if everything were to go your way in this space, like how would that look?
Well,
Would you be at Sotheby's? Would you be at Christie's?
If everything were to go well,
yeah,
I'd say I would probably be at Sotheby's. But really, I would just be taking it easy. I'm not the type of person who is going to be like, yeah, let's go. I am no hype beast at all. I'm just not that kind of guy. I'd just be like, awesome. Let's keep going and let's keep working together and let's keep making a difference.
Yeah.
And since I said I'm a huge advocate for the arts, especially in this new community with NFTs and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would like to be. I would like to also be a visionary, a storyteller, a recorder of history.
Mm-hmm.
Saying, I know it sounds a bit grand right there, but all of us record history in some way with the decisions we make,
mm-hmm.
and in our careers and our personal lives. If you look at all of art history, that's every movement that happened.
Yeah.
Is now a part of history.
Okay.
Now, that leaves us in the present. What do we do now?
Yeah.
What do we do now to make a difference?
Yeah, I appreciate you guys for even coming out to even just watching this interview. And I, of course, appreciate you, Caesar. I appreciate that.
And a pleasure.
To be the first artist. This is definitely a milestone in history. So I'm glad that I'm able to stamp this through time with these devices, these cameras. And so I appreciate you guys to be this first volume of this project, and I can't wait to bring you guys more. So
let's go.
Appreciate you.
Take care, man.
Yes, sir.
Thank